Hello, welcome to Revelator Alf, a biker's life less ordinary. Yes, so I thought I'd go live because it's blowing a gale out there, and I kind of made it through the night. I got back here about 3 o'clock in the morning last night, and to ride through the howling wind and the driving rain, and it wasn't very pleasant. But you know, leaning at 45 degrees into the wind, kind of basically was the top tip of the night, I think. Yeah, so it was pretty horrible out there. What made it worse was actually it wasn't so much the wind or the rain, as I had to ride through some roads that went through some forests, so there's a lot of falling debris as well, so it wasn't great. And then this actually it's died down a little bit now, it's not so bad, but this morning it was blowing a gale here as well. But anyway, that's not what this video is about, or this live show is about. Let me just turn the volume down on that so we don't get any feedback. Now I'm monitoring on here the chat as well, so if you want to say hello Sunday. I know most people are having their Sunday lunch or whatever, but I thought I'd come in on here now. Say hello to me. There we go, I've just put a little chat up there. So anyway, so I thought I'm sort of housebound here for the day until about 3 or 4 o'clock. So I thought I'd do a live show and chat to you about different things. If you want to ask me any questions whilst I'm on, just put it in the chat and I'll keep on looking away from you, the camera, to that. Just keep on checking it and see how it goes. Right, I'm also filming this on that Ausdom Spedal webcam, which I did a video for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, whatever it was, before Christmas. And I kind of unboxed it, but I never tried it out on the video. So this is using that. The link's down below as well. So if you're interested in it, it's on Amazon. I'm sure you can get them elsewhere. But anyway, that's where I got it from, so there's a link. I always put links to the equipment that I use in the videos or the webcam live shows as well, just if anybody's interested anyway. But I am looking to invest in different kinds of camera. Probably get a little bit more better quality, better colour quality as well, natural colour quality as well. That's what I'm looking at. Anyway, so yeah, the weather's pretty crappy, isn't it? I just wanted to know if anybody else was riding out in this at the moment. Obviously, I'm doing this from the UK, so we've got a band of weather that's coming through. Last week, it was really nice weather. We all thought it was kind of springtime. And then the last couple of days, all of a sudden, the winters decided to remind us that it hasn't quite finished with us yet. So that's basically where we're at, aren't we? You know, we've got this storm that's blowing through. Storm Freya, I think it's called. Not Hurricane Freya, but anyway, it's a Storm Freya. And so she's come in and given us a bit of a spanking over the last few hours. Now, so the bike's in the garage. Now, it really depends what happens the next hour or two. I might actually take it out and ride it because I've got to be back somewhere at about 5 o'clock. So it took me about an hour to get there, so I might just get out on the bike and go there. I think most of the weather should pass by. Maybe some strong winds will be fine, but I think some waterproofs and yeah, I'll be alright to get there. So, yeah, the weather. I just wanted to know what you guys were going to do. If you had any events that you were going to go to today, or on a biking event, or just get out on the bike, were you going to go and do it, and has the weather put you off? I've never really had an issue with anybody not getting out on the bike because of the weather. That's each of their own. You know, I think you've always got to make that judgment call whether you feel comfortable riding or not. For me, it's exactly the same. It doesn't matter how often I ride or where I ride or where I don't ride. You know, you kind of make that judgment call as you're going along. So, you know, I'm no different from anybody else, really. But, you know, it's kind of... I remember about 4 years ago, we had a summer that was just like really wet. It was just rain after rain after rain. And it just ruined loads of motorcycle events, rallies and stuff like that. Loads had to be cancelled, loads of... Yeah, so, no, maybe it's a bit more than 3 years ago. Maybe it was about 5 or 6 years ago. Anyway, so it kind of reminded me of that today, where I'm sure there's lots of events going on. Kind of first day of meteorological spring was a couple of days ago. and we've had all that nice weather. All of a sudden, yeah, let's go out on the bike, so let's go and do something. And then all of a sudden this arrives and everybody's like, oh no, no chance, I'm staying home. So I was wondering what kind of events are going on at the moment, and if you had any plans as well. So I know that there were quite a few in this area over the next few weeks. I wasn't sure if there's one today actually. I forgot to check this morning. So I got up about 9, so I didn't have many hours sleep, and then back to it. Anyway, so yesterday, just wanted to say that I've got my copy of. This is really good promotion and advertising for them, isn't it? I don't know why I'm doing this, but there you go. Backstreet Heroes, yes. The custom bike magazine. Now, interesting. I'll have a quick flick through it. That's a really nice bike. I really do like custom bikes, I've got to say. And they're not necessarily all to my style, I've got to say that. I don't like a custom bike just because it's a custom bike. And I don't like chrome, and I don't like sort of flashy colours and all that kind of stuff. I am very much a black is king, really. So a bit like, and kind of very basic, very stripped back. That's the way I like. If I'm building custom bikes, or whether I'm going to buy a custom bike, that will be something like that. So I'm not into all this flashiness. I like them quite small, relatively small, compact. Anyway, so I just thought, if that's another thing, obviously now the weather, you get lots of bike shows and custom bike shows that will be possibly starting to start in the next few months. Some will be indoors, some will be outdoors. Obviously lots of motorcycle rallies have custom bike shows as well. So, if you ride a custom bike, what do you go out in all weathers in it, or is it just purely, sunny days? The thing is, if you've got a pride and joy custom bike, if you take it out in the crud, then, you're going to spend a week cleaning the thing, and it really isn't. I remember when I had my custom bike, my, bobber chop, my bobber really, that I built, I took it out on all weathers, but most of the time, if it was really wet on the roads, actually that didn't bother me so much. It was when it was kind of almost wet, when it was kind of a little bit damp, so you get all the crud flicking off the road and it stick to your bike, but it wouldn't be washed off at the same time. So rain was actually a bit better for my bobber than the actual crud. But most of the time, I gotta say, I just took it out when it was dry roads. That means I don't have to clean the bloody thing when I get back. And I suppose that's the way I like my bikes in general. I like them to be quite utility, like just use them all the time, or whenever I want to use them. Don't have to worry about cleaning them, whatever. I think, spending out, I mean, for some people, that's part of the bike ownership thing, the custom bike thing, constantly cleaning your bike, polishing it within an inch of its life, and all that kind of stuff. I know there's lots of videos on YouTube, and some really good ones actually, about how to clean your bike, how to polish your bike, all this kind of stuff. How to do this, how to get the best sheen, how to get rid of your bluing on your exhaust and all this kind of stuff, which is great, but I just can't be arsed with all that. I really can't. So yeah, keeping your bike clean is great, but anyway. So when I had the bobber, that was exactly the same. I kind of thought, well, if I go out in this weather, I'm gonna have to spend ages cleaning it. If I go out on another day when it's dry, I won't have to clean it at all. There you go. That's what it was. Also, the kind of bike that it was, when it did get dirty, a lot of the time I just wipe it over the wet rack and spray it with black paint, spray paint. There you go. It was a bit of a nail. Anyway, right. So lots of I love custom bikes. And interestingly, I had been thinking about getting another bike at some point, and what kind of bike I would. Now, interestingly, this week I actually popped into the Harley garage locally, just down the road from me, and I went to have a look at them, speak to them about a new street bob, which I really like, and did a video a few weeks ago actually about one, which I thought was the best Harley, and I still think that street bob is the best Harley. But actually price wise, it's not too bad. I mean, I've been on the Never Never, but it was the exhaust was a bit tame. Although the look was great, the exhaust was a bit tame, and I thought so. You'd have to spend money on a stage 1 and you know, exhaust to match, and it's, you know, that's when you start racking up the price, you know, on a Harley. You know, you start adding those extra little bits, which is still fine in itself. But then I kind of, part of me thinks, well, actually, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should just get an older Harley and then just, you know, chop it, or just very slightly modify it to the way I want it. Now, if I get an old street bob, it's pretty much the bike, the style of bike, the look of the bike that I quite like. So if I just add a little bit to it, I'll get it possibly for 3/4 of the price. I don't know. It's a tough one. You know, whether go for a brand new one or go for one, you know, that you're gonna have to dish out, you know, 8, 7, or 8 grand for, or 10 grand for, you know, whatever. I don't know. I haven't still made up my mind. I've got lots of time before I have to make up my mind. But I think that's, you know, I like the fact, I like the thought of getting back into custom bikes again, or building another one, or I've still got that project in the back of the garage, which I haven't. Well, I started, which I doubt I'll ever get back to it, to be honest with you. Which that was the diesel bike build, so I kind of fell short on that. But I think, you know, the engine and the gearbox are all married up. It's just getting a frame and everything for it, so it wouldn't really take a lot. But I think it's just getting the right bike at the right price, and it's one of those project builds when you start, you know, weighing up the money, you know, how much it's going to cost you. You've got it. Basically, I need a donor bike now, and then like a BMW K75. That's what I can easily match up the gearbox, and then I can just make a couple of struts and you know, get the engine put in there as well. But it's that K75. Now, if I'm spending anything more than £100 or £200 on a, you know, on a donor bike, that's just not worth it. Just isn't worth it, because if you're spending £1,000 or 800, even £500 on a donor bike for that kind of bike, because it's so much work it needs to it, and at the end of it, there won't be any value in that bike afterwards as well. You know, you're kind of throwing your money down the toilet. However, with a Harley or something like that, when you're making small custom accents, or you're actually going for a full custom job, you're actually going to potentially increase the value of that bike a little bit to a certain point. It really depends, you know. If you don't really ever customize a bike for somebody else, unless you're in the trade, of course. But I'm saying, if you customize a bike, it's your own taste. Then if you want to get rid of it, it really depends whether somebody else likes your style. Now, case in point, let's say when Sons of Anakee was on, right? So I don't know if you're a fan of the show and all that kind of stuff. Okay, well, the bikes, a lot of the bikes, you know, they were riding those sort of street bobs, fat bobs, diners, and they had, you know, blacked out bikes and all that kind of black tanks, black sort of mud guards or fenders or whatever you want to call them. But they also had, you know, T-bar handlebars, and they also had all sort of black nose cones and all the headlight cones and everything like that. So a lot of, and black, you know, black accents all over the bikes and black wing mirrors and everything like that. So a lot of bikes, a lot of people were customising their bikes, getting street bobs and fat bobs and things like that, low rider S's, whatever, and making them black to emulate that. The problem is that now the show isn't that popular, and the kind of styles have moved on a little bit. You see those bikes up for sale quite a lot, and you know, they're still quite expensive. You know, you're going to pay £10,000–12,000 for one, maybe a little bit less. It really depends the time of year. You know how these things work, but they're kind of already a little bit dated. Now, black will never go out of favour, but I'm saying that kind of style with the shielding around the headlight and the, you know, everything black accents, it's, you know, it doesn't look quite right, you know. So well, it looked right for me. I quite like it. And then again, I never buy anything that's in fashion anyway, so there you go. Anyway, so you know, I always like looking at these bikes, and it's only these Factory Heroes. I kind of like all different sorts of magazines, and I like, for me, Backstreet Heroes has had a bit of a resurgence the last couple of years. You know, but when I had my own motorcycle magazine, I tended not to look at other bike magazines anymore, because it's one of those things, you either look at other magazines to see what they're doing, or you kind of blank it out of your mind. So you just focus on what your vision is of, you know, a bike magazine or whatever. Ah, hello. So, there you go. Look, hello, Michelle. Right, there we go. Hello, hello, hello to you. Yeah, it's raining windy. I'm just looking out the window right now, and the trees are doing this right now. So I don't think there'd be much riding for me either. Anyway, what was I saying about this? Yes, so the bike magazine. So when I had the bike magazine before, I tended not to look at anything else, any other kind of motorcycle press. The reason being that, you know, you want to have your own vision of what it is. You don't want to be influenced by another style, and then unfortunately what will happen is you'll tend to start copying that style, whether you mean to or not, or you'll certainly be heavily influenced by it. But interestingly, when I started doing the magazine, I know that a lot of other people within the industry were kind of looking at the magazine as well, and they were getting the ideas. So they were getting the ideas from me. And how do I know that? Because I know that they do certain layouts, let's say like this, and before that they weren't doing layouts for this. And then I started doing it, and then all of a sudden I started seeing these layouts. Or the photos, you'd have a main photo, and then the other secondary, tertiary photo would be at an angle, something like that. That's what I was doing, you see. So I'm not saying they were copying me, like this kind of thing as well. Motorcycle rallies, you know, I used to do a lot of this montage, you know, of different bikes and different people and rally goers and everything like that. So, and they weren't kind of doing this, and then a lot of the bike magazines and industry magazines were starting to, I'm not saying copy me, but it started to naturally evolve. I think magazines started to get not jaded, but they got a little bit lost, I think, and they're still struggling now. And it's probably getting worse and worse year on year because of online media, you know, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. You know, it's blogs, you know, that kind of thing. Certainly for the younger people, the older people, you still like that tactile thing about having a magazine. And I still think there is a place for it. I was really pleased when I went to look at Backstreet Heroes, you know, get a subscription again, because I've always only ever bought them in the past. But I thought I'd get a subscription now, and it's good that they offer a digital one, because my magazine was purely online. It wasn't a physical magazine as well. I think I was ahead of my time, you know. But it was good that they offered the digital variant, and it was good that they've all come back and they're showing different elements now. And it isn't just about it's about custom bikes, of course it is, and that's the way it should be. And it's about the scene and everything. But dare I say it, I'm not, you know, and this kind of thing, I was always a big champion of this, you know, bikes and graffiti scenes, urban, gritty graffiti scenes. I'm not saying I started off, you know, in photographic terms, but I kind of did. But I didn't. Or did I? I don't know. But it's interesting what they've stopped doing, and maybe this is the flavour, is that you don't get so much these days of, you know, models being draped over bikes anymore. I did a video for another platform, and also it's coming out on YouTube in a couple of weeks, and it's basically saying where all the biker chicks come from, which I kind of hate that phrase anyway, but where all of these you know, voluptuous page 3 type models type thing anymore, either at, well, were they ever at the UK bike scene rallies, and, you know, they kind of disappeared out of magazines a little bit. And personally, I do it from manly point of view, you know, I kind of miss them, of course, but actually I don't, because I always thought, well, you know, what's the point of having somebody draped over a bike when they've got nothing to do with the bike? Now, it's the same when you go to a bike show or a bike event and you see, you know, young girls dressed in bikinis or whatever, you know, promotional girls, whatever. And if you ever speak to them, this is what the video was about, you ever speak to them or get most of the time they know nothing about the bike scene. So it's kind of pointless having them there. And whilst I don't necessarily want to see those kind of, you know, girls models away from motorcycling, or away from the racetrack, from the paddock, because, you know, for that, many are, you know, they love the work, they love the modelling and all that kind of stuff. Others might feel it's degrading and everything like that. But you kind of think sometimes it's a bit bloody cheesy. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit, you know. Yes, Michelle. Yes, you agree. Yes, we agree. So it's good that from magazine point of view, that I'm sure they still have it, because I haven't really had a good chance to look through it. But it's good that the magazines have kind of left the 1970s behind, if you know what I mean. Sorry, I've just spat on myself. Nice. It's good that they've left the 1970s behind, and they're actually coming back up to date. And I think they have to. I think magazines have to get up to date, because they have to come up with the times, because people are just not into that anymore, per se. They're into the lifestyle, the culture, whatever it is, but they're not necessarily into just seeing images of, you know, half-naked girls, women, whatever, you know, because they can get a porn mag for that, or go onto online and do that kind of thing if that's what you're into, you know what I mean. But anyway, so that's it. So that's it. Now, so if you're any of you into going to any shows and events, so let me know, even in live chat here or in the comments section below later. Let me know where. Now, the chat. What I'm going to plan on doing, as I said earlier on, I might try and take the channel or my video cameras or whatever to a few events, which I'm going to. The vision is I'm going to go to lots of different events and have do interviews with organisers and that kind of thing. But it really depends how that fits in with my schedule, and obviously the weather and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have to see. I have to see how that goes. But so there are lots of events going through. I know a lot of events are shutting down. A lot of events are not as popular as they once were. If you notice, some of the massive events from the UK, they shut down like a couple of years ago. One organised by the Hells Angels, the Bulldog Bash. I think that's certainly closed down a couple of years ago. I mean, I went to it many years ago. Not really my scene per se, but you know, the whole sort of bike club thing that's not really my world, if you like. But you know, I quite enjoy going to rallies and things like that, and that was always a good show from years ago. But I think even they struggled with numbers over the years, dwindling numbers and everything like that. Michelle, yes, I haven't, but I am planning on going. Hopefully next year. Funny enough, I went to a mag meeting the other night, Motorcycle Action Group. I don't know if you know that. I know I've always been involved with those guys quite a few years, and I was speaking to one of the chap who goes there. He's been going there every year for the last 15 years, and we were just talking about it in different elements. And funny enough, I have close links with the TT through various other sources, because I know a lot of the medical team over there, and I know a lot of the helicopter people over there who do the filming as well. So kind of in a strange way, I kind of know quite a bit about the TT. But you know, it's just one of those things. I'm always working, and I'm always doing other things as well. And my day jobs, I haven't been able to get out there. But I've been meaning to get out there for the last, probably for the last 15 years myself, which is crazy, isn't it? You know. But anyway, do you get out there? Oh, you never been, but love to. There you go. Well, you should get out there as well. Brilliant. But I love the TT. TT is my favourite racing on the road. I love those kind of road races, and like the you know, Northwest and all that kind of stuff. I just love those kind of races. off-road, the Dakar style riding. That's my absolute favourite, because it's about endurance, about lots of other different things. But the TT I love. I always tune into it. And interestingly, I don't know if you saw, and this kind of ties in actually to what I was just talking about having faces or women, you know, in a magazine or on a show or whatever, who don't really fit what it is. So last year, the ITV coverage of ITV4 coverage of the TT got an absolute slating, and it got slating by me as well, and lots of other people, because the coverage was so rubbish. And they had this model who was presenting it, or ex-model was presenting it, Jodie Kidd. Now, she's not that great a presenter, to be fair, in all honesty. But also, the only knowledge I know that she's got of motorcycles is that she once drove past one in a Maserati. So she hasn't really got a big connection with motorcycling. The other guy, Matt Roberts, you know, he had a lot of, he's done MotoGP, so there's a strong link there. They decided to change it. There's a new TV channel, new TV company got involved with the TT. They wanted to change everything, and it was just wrong. It just didn't work. Now, it's got nothing to do with gender. It's got nothing to do that she is a woman and she was, you know, attractive and tall and ex-model. That's got nothing to do with it. The fact is that she didn't really have a link with motorcycling, and her knowledge wasn't credible. So if you're going to have somebody who's easy on the eye, let's say, if you really want that, but you don't have to, but you're going to play you want a gender thing, so you're going to have a woman, fantastic, then get Susie Perry. Or get the other girl, I forgot her name, off the BBC, who does MotoGP, and the other girl who does she used to do not Top Gear, the other girl, Fifth Gear. I forgot what her name is. She's big into her bikes as well. Get somebody like that who's actually got some credibility. But there you go. As I say, Michelle, yeah, you do need to know what you're on about. That's it, Vicky. There we go. Look, this is brilliant. Technology, amazing. Vicky Henderson. Is it Henderson? Something like that? Yeah, anyway, there we go. Whatever. Right, so, yes, so, I don't know. I've totally lost my train of thought. Anyway, yeah, so, rallies, yes. What we're going to. So, lots of shows this year. Yeah, I'm not going to the TT, but lots of bike events I'm going to get to. So, custom bike shows I do like to go to. I do try and support quite a few of the local endeavours. I know quite a few friends who organise different shows and events, so I'm going to be trying and go to those as well. And I usually just flit in and out and have a quick look around, and off I go again. But anyway, right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is about the channel. Yes, this thing, or that thing. That thing, yeah. YouTube, right, just want to see what's going on. So, basically I've been experimenting with a lot of different types of videos, different types of different types of formats, and some news shows, some biking videos, that kind of thing. That's probably going to carry on for a while yet. The reaction hasn't been that great, to be quite honest with you, and although I've been getting a little bump in subscribers, which is really good, so thanks for that, any of you out there. I think it's one of those things that the last month or month and a half or 2 months, what I've been trying to focus on is produce videos that are not necessarily promotable within my network, if you know what I mean. Or social media. I want them to be searchable, so people are searching for this kind of topic, and then they go for it, and then they can then find the videos. Either way, it's not really quite working. So, because what I wanted to do is drop social media a lot, because I was spending too much time on it, or I thought too much time on it, and just focus on the content. And that's pretty much what I've done. And it's exactly the same when I had the magazine. I want to just focus on the content, producing content, rather than constantly being a slave to social media. Anyway, so that's basically what I've been doing. I've been concentrating on the channel, all the stuff behind the scenes, trying to keep on bringing out new content, new ideas, and new videos for you, hopefully, or to enjoy and watch, or get something out of, learn something, or whatever, or exchange some ideas and have some discussion videos as well, which is really good. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing and continuing to do for the time being. But occasionally I will be promoting the videos. All the videos are always shared and automatically shared across all my social media platforms. And if there is somebody comments on them, then I do try and comment straight away. So I get a notification on the phone or whatever. But I don't tend to check my social media every day. You know, it's not something that I do. But the videos will continue in the same vein. There'll be lots of other different ones coming on, and bike reviews. Yes, so there will be some bike reviews. Now, one of the things I'm going to be doing over the next sort of few months is looking at different bikes that I may want to buy or get or anything like that. So I might be doing bike reviews in that sense. It's a hard thing, bike reviews, because you think, well, do I just want to go and speak to a dealer and say, you know, I want to do a bike review? And a lot of the dealerships don't really like you doing bike reviews when you're on a test ride. So you kind of have to do it under the radar a little bit. But I think sometimes when you're up front with them, sometimes that works a lot better. So I'm not saying I'm going to do a lot of them, but I will be doing equipment reviews, tech reviews, and of some bike reviews as and when, you know, I get to ride them or see them or anything like that. So I will be doing a few, but not like every day or every week or anything like that. So they'll be quite sporadic. So that's it. Right, so the other thing I wanted to quickly tell you about is the two other platforms which I'm also putting the videos on. Now, so the first one, if you look in the descriptions below of all the videos, you see a whole load of links and lots of stuff that I use and everything like that, and lots of equipment and all that. So one of the links that in there is to Patreon, which I've set up an account a while ago, and I've offered a few freebies on there, and it's trying. No, it's very quiet, so nobody's signed up to it, and I haven't really concentrated on it that much. But the way I'm going to use that is I'm going to have a kind of a premiere of certain videos, not all videos, but special videos that I'll make that are more on the creative side, if you like. What I'll be doing are some I'm going to be premiering or featuring on the Patreon site. Now, the Patreon site is like you become a patron of whoever you want to follow. So for me, Revelator Alf, you want to help develop the channel. So if I can develop the channel and grow and get more equipment and make more videos, let's say like bike reviews, that kind of thing, well, all that takes obviously time and money and so on and so forth. So that the more that it can be supported, the quicker it will grow, and the more varied content that I'll be able to make. And hopefully more entertaining and more interesting as well. But let's face it, doing a face-to-camera type thing and all the time isn't great, and unless you've got a lot to say, which I usually don't. So that's what the Patreon is there about. You can become a patron of me, Revelator Alf, or you can, you know, look at the channel and subscribe to the channel. You can go onto my blog, RevelatorAlf.com, and, you know, follow that and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't got a shop yet. I haven't got like a store with t-shirts or anything like that. I think possibly I need to get hats or something. That's probably a good thing. Maybe a cowboy hat or something. That'd be good. No, so I am looking into starting a shop as well. But on one of the pages on the website, RevelatorAlf.com, you see there's some of the books that I've written. They're up for sale there. A couple of those are on Amazon. And then on the Patreon, one of the whole volume of all the issues of the Motorcycle magazine, I've offered for free on Patreon. So you can just go on there, and there's a link to a Dropbox, and you can just download it all from there. But obviously you need to pay for it. And I think it's about I think it's in dollars actually, $5 a month or a quarter. Anyway, so if you're ever interested in help supporting and getting first look at either videos or any other literature or any sort of magazines, newsletters which I'm potentially going to produce, or books that I might write, then it'll first go onto Patreon first, probably for about a month or so, and then I'll release it either on YouTube if it's a video, let's say, or on this other platform which I recently started going on to, and it's called Cocoscope. So cocoscope.com/RevelatorAlf, that's my channel there. Now, on the face of it, it looks exactly the same, or it's very similar to YouTube. You share videos, you know, it's a video hosting platform, all that kind of stuff. You can get subscribers, followers, that kind of thing. But the idea is that actually, if you put all your eggs in one basket, then it's not a very safe arena to be in. So my mindset is to have some of my videos, or the bulk of my videos, on YouTube, but also I'm making very similar or purely exclusive content for Cocoscope as well. And it possibly may attract a different audience, and it may be more successful. Now, I haven't done anything on there for a couple of months, and what I was basically doing, I was sharing a lot of my YouTube videos on there. And it kind of worked for a little bit, and I was kind of getting lots of views, or it was saying I was getting lots of views on there. But certainly more than YouTube itself. But it's a much smaller community on Cocoscope, but it is growing a lot more. And I think that one of the reasons why it started was all the shenanigans with YouTube over the last couple of years about not allowing people to earn money as easily as it once were, making it a lot more restrictive, all this kind of stuff. So all of a sudden, lots of people were trying to find another way, or an extra string in their feather in their cap, if you like, to try and promote their content, or find a vehicle to, you know, either sell their content or whatever it is. So Patreon is one of those platforms. Cocoscope is another. So you can put videos on there. You can follow, as I say, subscribe to it. You can pay to watch videos, all that kind of stuff. Now, if you look on the face of it, it does attract lots of people who may be not welcomed on YouTube. Let me put it that way. I don't know how to put it in and whilst it's not my kind of thing, it is actually very interesting to always look, from my point of view, always look at these other channels to see, well, how are they getting quite successful? What are they actually doing that is, you know, making it work? Now, a lot of it is, you know, dare I say, it's down to sexuality, innuendo, all that kind of stuff. And we all know, you know, we live in the 21st century, sex sells, and it always has and always will do. But, you know, they're kind of doing it a lot in a kind of very business-like way, which is really interesting. That kind of appeals to me. So I've been speaking to the organisers, or the people who created it. They used to have YouTube channels on, very successful ones as well. But they kind of fell foul of the YouTube laws or bylaws, so they sort of started up this Cocoscope. So they've been helping me along. And interestingly, the last week, I've started putting videos up, and I've made exclusive content for it. And now, the last 2 days, I was getting like 100 views per video. Then it jumped up to 200. Now the video I put up last night, only a few hours, it's gone over, the last count was over 1,500 views. So it's actually, there's been a massive spike in attention, a lot more than I'm getting on YouTube, interestingly enough. So whilst I'm not going to abandon YouTube, because I'm suddenly getting a bit of response on there, I'm still working out to see if that is really working. And although it's very limiting, so it's not as advanced as YouTube, but it's another platform basically. So, you know, there'll be YouTube, there'll be Patreon, there'll be Cocoscope going forward. There's obviously always the blog, and there's obviously all the social media stuff as well. So somewhere in between all of that, I've got to keep on producing videos, content, or whatever. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Yeah, Michelle, do you know, I never heard of it either. To be honest, I thought YouTube was the only one, but then it's actually about a year ago when I started to think about trying to develop my own channel a lot more and become more serious about the channel, that I started looking into the background workings of YouTube a lot more and how it all works and why certain people are really successful and others are not and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more to it than I originally thought was ever involved. But then I started hearing about all these problems in YouTube, and I just stumbled across a certain person on YouTube who was talking about this other platform and so on and so forth. And that's purely by chance that I found it as well. Anyway, so that's it. So it's so you might see, if you follow me on any of the social media or on my blog, you might see the odd post from this Cocoscope platform, Revelator Alf. So you can go on there, you can subscribe to it. I think it's all free to subscribe, whatever. And the only you can do what they call adopt a channel. So you can adopt my channel if you like, and however much it is. Different people, different creators have set a different price for theirs. I can't mind. I think mine is 52p or something. It's about $5. Again, it's all in dollars as well. $5 a month or a quarter. Again, I'll have to check it. But you know, you can do it that way, or you can just watch the videos free. So there is like a free section, if you like. What YouTube is, a free section. And then there's like an exclusive section, like adopters only. You have to adopt to the channel to be able to watch these other types of videos. So that's it. So you can imagine the free videos are for those other types of channels, which I kind of talked about. They're the ones that are anybody can pretty much watch, possibly. And then the adopter ones, the exclusive ones, are ones that you're only for a private audience, I would imagine. But mine aren't like that. Okay, mine are kind of like, yeah. Right, bye, Michelle. Take care. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, my kid's away at the moment, so I've got to feed myself somehow. Right. Anyway, so that's Patreon and Cocoscope. That's all happening at the moment, and there's going to be lots more videos and development going on there. YouTube, obviously massive for me, so I'm still going to be pumping out stuff there, and hopefully get better at it and get better with this kind of thing. I do like the live streams. I do like doing this just because I can just put notes down here and I can show you what's really going on and give you a live update, which I really like doing. As I say, so and the final thing is basically what have I been doing this week? Well, as I say, I went to a Harley garage this week and looked at a street bob, and I spoke to them about a few different options, about test riding them. I said I'm in no rush. I said this a couple of years ago when I went there to get there before I got my last bike, the Triumph. I'm still looking at possibly downgrading the Triumph to something like an enduro bike, a small enduro bike, a trail bike, but getting like a Harley for the road. But I've got to look at the practicality of owning one because I say a daily ride, so I'm not too sure whether it's going to be right for me. So we looked at different options, different things, and they didn't have a demo for me to ride this week, so you know, as soon as one comes in, I'll probably go and ride it and probably do a video on it. I might ask if I can take out a couple of them and just do videos and see what they think. You know, so I'll speak to the owner, give them some publicity and see where we go. So that's that. They'll also actually, they did say next month, a lot of these Harley dealerships around the UK will be having their monthly event nights or bike nights as well. They're always pretty good to go to. Obviously, very Harley, all the Harley crowd turn up. But other people on other bikes turn up. I always turned up on different bikes. You know, people never said anything. So those are always pretty good. The one down the road from here in Reading is pretty good. Band, barbecue, all that kind of stuff. especially on a nice night. Always good. So I've been making a lot more videos this week as well. So the last 2 days I've been making videos, some for Cocoscope, some for YouTube. And also the other day I went out on quite a long ride, and I batched a load of videos. So that kind of took a bit of planning to plan the route. And I'd say, right, okay, well, I went from this point to this point, this would be one video. Then I went from this point to this point, this would be another video. So spent a couple of days working on those, editing and everything, and they're coming up this week on YouTube. So they are designed to be more like how to off-road, ride motorcycles off-road for beginners, if you know what I mean. It's not necessarily showing you how to ride, you know, in terms of technique, but also more about the thought process, what you should be looking out for, you know, the hazard points, what can easily trip you up, that kind of thing. So it's more about getting into the mindset of off-road riding as opposed, or trail riding, whatever, either on adventure bikes or smaller trail bikes, whatever. Anyway, so I've been doing a bit of that. And then the rest of the stuff is working on the blog and working on the background stuff of YouTube and Patron and Cocoscope. It's basically trying to produce more quality content, but also at the same time be a lot more efficient the way I'm doing it. So I'm constantly looking at ways to improve how quickly I can get these videos out, but also make it that the quality is still there as well. So hopefully that will continue. So I've got somewhere to go all night tonight, and then I've got actually a few days off this week. So depending on the weather, if it's not raining, of course, because I don't tend to make videos when it's raining because it's just crap, basically. Biking, outdoor riding videos. So I've got a few ideas for this week, so I might just knock out a few of those and see how we go. And then put them on YouTube. So anyway, the next couple of weeks there's lots of videos coming, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. Right. Anyway, I have no idea how long I've been on. Does this tell me how long I've been on? No idea. Oh no, nearly 47 minutes. There we go. Well, not bad, was it? Right. So that's it pretty much. It's lots of updates, lots of stuff coming up. I'm just going to sit back, make a coffee, just have a read through this, and then think about getting on the bike and going out for another ride somewhere. Yeah, actually, it's still windy out there. I mean, the trees are still doing that out here, but it's stopped raining at least. That's one thing. Anyway, right, catch you on the next live show whenever it is. I quite enjoy doing these, you know, kind of off the cuff. I actually find them a lot easier than the making videos as well. So it's look, and there was my my song list as well, if you like. You can't even see. Can you see that in there? Oh yeah, the lights here, just about. Right. Anyway, catch you on the next video coming very soon. Oh, there's one today, so yeah, there isn't one at 6 o'clock because there's one released this morning. So every day this week at 6 PM as my daily videos. They're always coming out at 6 PM UK time. It's the regular ones on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. But I am filling in for Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday and Sunday at the moment as well. So they are turning into daily ones, but I'm just keeping it as making sure that my 3 weekly videos are done first and everything else is an extra. Because I just love making videos for a start. I mean, that's essentially why I do it, because I quite enjoy making them. And if anything, a lot of people say, well, why do you make all these riding videos? I started off with YouTube on this channel. I had other channels before as well, but I started with this channel because purely I wanted to have an archive of all my rides. So that's how it was. And that's where, especially the first 200 or 300 videos, maybe more, are purely just me riding different. You know, I've either got the helmet on my camera or attached to the bike, and I'm just sort of talking away as I'm going along, and they're purely just archive. But then, and I still watch those every now and again, funny enough. So they're all there. They're all there. They're in the list of the videos. Just go there on the playlists, and you'll see them. So there are lots of videos like that. And I still, although I'm trying to tailor the new videos to make them more searchable and more interesting to watch, possibly, and more informative, and possibly in some cases a bit educational for certain people, it's certainly going off-road riding. Especially if you've never been off-road riding before and you kind of want to get an insight into it, what it's really like, or you've never been off-road riding on your big adventure bike and you want to know what they're really like, what, you know, all the pros and cons, all that kind of stuff. You know, that's the reason why I'm putting them up there now. But even though that is the case, I still put them up there because I like to have an archive of where I'm riding and what I've done and everything like that. So that's why they're all up there. So, you know, for me, I could just have a whole YouTube channel, just a daily 2 or 3 videos a day, just pumping out different riding videos. But I know, I appreciate that a lot of people, you know, won't be watching those. Possibly I'll be the only one watching those. Anyway, but thanks for anybody who watches this later on. Thanks to Michelle who tuned in as well. That's really cool. And I'll catch you very, very soon, say on the videos or another live stream coming soon. Do you know what? I've got a couple of days this week, so it really depends on time slot. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday I might do another live stream. I'll see how it goes. Right. As I say, but I do have lots of videos to try and make this week out on the bike, so a little bit busy, see how that goes. Right, catch you then. See you whenever. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.